You've heard the stories of people finding significant improvements on a carnivore diet with everything from weight loss, depression and anxiety, to autoimmune disease, and you want to give it a try. The first thing you need to ask yourself is what your goals are for this way of eating, and what fits your lifestyle. One other consideration in the discussion of what to eat on a carnivore diet is when to eat. Because a carnivore diet is so satiating, most people find that eating 2 times a day, or even once per day, works better than 3 meals per day. This also makes time-restricted eating much easier by allowing for a more compressed eating window with less meals. In the meal plan that follow, I have suggested breakfast, lunch, and dinner meals, but twice or once per day eating is totally appropriate, and perhaps even better. Tier 1, Carnivore-ish, with discussion of low and high toxicity plant foods. Also known as carnivore adjacent, this type of eating emphasizes animal foods, and consumes these as the majority of the diet, but allows some room for what I would consider the least toxic plant foods. Beginning with an appreciation of the fact that animal foods represent the most nutrient-rich sources of bioavailable vitamins and minerals, these foods form the majority of such a diet, perhaps 80% to 90%. These foods might include ruminant, beef, bison, lamb, meat, poultry, fish, eggs and dairy for those who tolerate. In addition to these foods, low-toxicity, plant foods may be included for flavor and preference. I will reiterate here that I see plant foods as survival foods, and don't believe they provide unique nutrients for humans that we can't obtain from animals. Furthermore, plants have lots of toxins in them, many of which have been misconstrued as beneficial for humans, that irritate the gut and the immune system. An animal-based diet is an ideal foundation. Genetic variability also appears to come into play regarding which plant foods a given individual will tolerate. In some individuals, any amount of plant foods and dairy appear to trigger the immune system, leading to resurgence of inflammation and autoimmunity. In others, specific plant foods may be tolerated without apparent detrimental effects. This is an individual idiosyncrasy, and will need to be determined on such a basis. I will discuss a few foods that might be considered to be the least toxic, and that could be added to a carnivore-ish diet. The understanding here, of course, will be that much of this will be unique based on the individual. Which are the least toxic plant foods? I generally think of these as the non-sweet fruits, and include things like olives, avocado, lettuces, cucumbers, without skin or seeds, and various squashes in this group. Squash, in particular, will have higher amounts of carbohydrates, and will interrupt efforts toward ketosis if that's a goal. What about more toxic foods? At the opposite end of the spectrum I would place plant seeds. The category of plant seeds really includes seeds, grains, nuts, and beans. These are all plant seeds, and they are all very heavily defended by plants. They contain digestive enzyme inhibitors, lectins, high amounts of phytic acid, a molecule that binds phosphorus in plants, but can also bind other positively charged ions such as magnesium, zinc, calcium, and selenium, limiting their absorption. In addition to plant seeds, the nightshade or solanaceae family, tomatoes, eggplants, potatoes, goji berries, peppers, paprika, chili peppers, is also known to be a common immune trigger. Most fruits and vegetables lie between these two groups, and are difficult to qualify in terms of toxicity. This will vary on a person-to-person basis. On a Tier 1 carnivore diet, you might start with the low-toxicity plants and add in moderate toxicity foods to see how you tolerate them. Beverages. Many people ask about coffee. The short answer is that I am not a fan of coffee for a variety of reasons, including caffeine, sympathetic nervous system activation, sleep disturbance, etc., pesticides, mold toxins and acrylamide formed in the roasting process. If you choose to include coffee in your diet, know that most people feel much better without it once they have gone through the acute withdrawal phase. In place of coffee, drink high-quality, purified water. Distilled water or reverse osmosis should be remineralized but is a good option. High-quality carbon filters like the Berkey are another option. Sparkling mineral water is fine. Tea contains many compounds, like tannins, which may impair nutrient absorption and irritate the gut. I generally recommend against it. Sodas, fruit juices, etc. are clearly not ideal and should be avoided. What a typical day of Tier 1 carnivore looks like. All typical days will vary based on your goals, body composition and metabolic rate. Twice per day or once per day eating styles are also appropriate. Breakfast. 3 scrambled eggs with 1 tablespoon of ghee. 1/2 avocado with sea salt. Lunch. 6 ounces grass-fed ribeye steak. cucumber slices and romaine lettuce with olive oil dressing. Dinner, 8 ounces lamb chops, olives, 1/2 avocado. Tier 2 Junior Varsity Organ Meat Eating and Real Animal Fats. This tier is for you if you are loving the carnivore diet and are organ curious. There are amazing virtues of grass-fed fat trimmings or suet, beef kidney fat, and you'd like to jump on the fat train. A Tier 2 carnivore diet will probably suit your needs very well, and I believe that you will notice improvements in mental clarity, satiety, and athletic performance by upgrading your diet in these ways. Let's start with liver. Isn't this organ the body's filter and full of toxins? No. It is true that the liver contains the majority of the enzymatic systems involved in detoxification. The liver doesn't store toxins, however. It chemically transforms them. Is it really that uniquely nutritious? In a word, yes. Muscle meat from animals is very rich in a lot of vitamins and minerals, but it doesn't have all of them. Simply adding liver to a Tier 2 carnivore diet really helps fill in many of the possible nutrients that could be limited on this type of diet. What nutrients am I talking about here? Liver is particularly rich in a few minerals and B vitamins which complement those found in muscle meat. On the mineral side, liver is one of the best sources of copper, which we need for enzymes like superoxide dismutase, SOD. SOD serves a critical role in the antioxidant management system in our bodies. Copper deficiency would result in accumulation of O2, which could have disastrous consequences in terms of excess oxidative stress. Aside from copper, liver is also a great source of many other minerals including iron, selenium, manganese, and molybdenum. It's also very rich in choline, essential for healthy cell membranes and neurotransmitter production. Looking at the B vitamins, liver is just a powerhouse, on the order of the Incredible Hulk or another Avengers superhero. It provides significantly higher levels of almost all of these nutrients, and is an especially good source of folate, biotin, and riboflavin, which really are not that available in muscle meat. Liver is just about the richest source there is. Other good sources of riboflavin are heart, kidney, and egg yolks. What a typical day of Tier 2 carnivore looks like. Breakfast, 2 eggs, 4 ounces tenderloin steak, 2 ounces liver. Lunch, 3 ounces grass-fed suet, 8 oysters, 3 ounces king salmon. Dinner, 6 ounces shrimp, 8 ounces grass-fed ribeye steak with sea salt. Tier 3, optimal nose-to-tail carnivore diet, varsity organ meats. You are focused on optimizing your diet for best results in terms of resolution of inflammatory issues, weight loss, or physical, mental performance, and you want the Ferrari version of the carnivore diet. This is it. Tier 3. This type of a carnivore diet may not be for everyone at all times. Traveling makes eating lots of high-quality animal meats, organs and fat difficult from time to time. Animal fat is a vital and valuable part of animals that humans have uniquely sought out throughout our existence, and which should not be neglected or undervalued. Just like how liver and the other organ meats have a unique nutritional profile, animal fat does as well, and I believe that it should be intentionally included on a well-constructed nose-to-tail carnivore diet. Most of the fat is now trimmed off our meat by butchers, so we have to specifically ask for trimmings or look for the fat around the kidneys, suet. The carnivore diet also includes lots of organ meats. Eat a variety of them throughout the day. Rotate the organ meats you eat throughout the week as I believe our ancestors would have. It may not work for everyone, and some of the organ meat may be considered gross in terms of what is mainstream, but I find great value in making efforts to eat as much of the animal as I can. In a given week, try to eat about 16 ounces liver, 16 ounces kidney, 16 to 32 ounces heart, 16 ounces testicles, yes, and occasional spleen, pancreas, and brain when they are available. Typical day of Tier 3 carnivore looks like for someone. Breakfast, 3 eggs, 2 ounces beef liver, 1 ounce kidney, 6 ounces NY steak. Lunch, 100 grams beef suet, 4 ounces scallops cooked in tallow. Dinner, 100 grams beef suet, 8 ounces ribeye steak, 6 jumbo shrimp. As with any diet, it's okay to experiment with getting your nutrition, but make sure it doesn't harm you. Be realistic about your health and your goals and make changes if needed.